Hey, Flosstube, Sean here. It's been less than a year and I'm making another video. Woohoo! I have wanted to get back to this a little bit, but it kind of got slumpy this year. So what I'm going to do this video is I'm going to talk about what's been going on and then kind of plans, and then I'm going to get into WIPs because the plans kind of go into the WIPs I'm going to show. It's going to end up being a non-full coverage WIP parade, which I haven't shown non-full coverage on here in a couple of years because my last couple of videos have been a year apart and they've just been full coverage. I think there's been like 3 full coverage WIP parades within like 2 years, or covering 3 December, January areas, because there was I didn't make any videos in 2020. I did a full coverage WIP parade at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023. Nothing until the end of 2023 where I did a full coverage WIP parade, and then again nothing until the end of 2024 where I did a full coverage WIP parade. So you guys haven't seen any non-full coverage from me in a while, and that's partially because I hadn't been working on them really. If you've been with me for a while, you know I tend to favor full coverage, but that's kind of shifting a little bit, and I'll get into that. So yeah, I got a bit slumpy this year with cross stitching, and part of it was due to my eyesight. I was having trouble seeing my fabric. Which was partially due to I knew I needed a new prescription, but I couldn't do anything about it. We were in a situation where flex spending money was gone. My wife has been having a lot of dental work done. She did Invisalign braces, and then that's going into she's been doing prep work this year to get implants done on some missing teeth, but she had to get through the Invisalign braces first. So pretty much all of the flex money we were both under my wife's insurance since I switched jobs. All the flex money from that flex account's been going to her dental care. And then this year I kind of messed up my flex account, my flex spending account from my job by screwing up the date by which I had to enroll, and I missed it. So last year, pretty much my flex money was gone through my chiropractor appointments, because I had to pay for those because my wife's flex money was going to her care, her dental care, and then all of my wife's flex money this year is going to her implants. And then I messed up my date for enrolling in my flex money. My flex money was going to cover my glasses and stuff, so I had to build up a little bit of savings in order to get my glasses this year. So where I would have gotten new glasses last year, I couldn't get new glasses. 1 second, I have to pause because the dog wants out. Okay, sorry, there's going to be a bit of pausing here and there because it's a sunny day and the dog's going to want in and out because she likes to lay on the porch in the sun, but it's hot out, so she doesn't stay out for very long, so she comes in to cool off, and then she wants to go back out. She's got a water bowl out there and everything's fine. But anyway, so flex all going to my wife's implants this year. I messed up my date, so I had to build up a little bit of savings. So I knew I needed a new prescription, and that was part of my problem seeing my fabric. I did get a magnifying light, which is actually, you can see it a little bit in my glasses here. It's being used to help light me right now. So that helped. I could see on my 28 count fabric. I could actually see on my higher count non-full coverage fabrics to an extent. I still needed a new prescription in my glasses, though. So once I got the new prescription in my glasses, which was, I don't know, March or April, maybe May, I don't even remember. Not the first couple of months of the year, but shortly after that, we both got in to have our eye exams and stuff. But once I got that, my stitching world opened up again. But I was still not in the habit of going to my non-full coverage pieces. So I was still focusing on my full coverage pieces, but what I realized is I was burnt out on trying to keep up with all my full coverage pieces, because I have close to 50 full coverage pieces. I have like 48 full coverage pieces, because I've started some new ones this year too, which you may see this year, you may not. I don't know. We'll see. One of them you'll see. But so what I did, and I was going to do a video about this and talk about it, but it didn't really last. What I did was I did something. I want to say I want to say it was Crafty Gaming Jamie I saw do it, but it was somebody. I want to say it was her, but I'm not positive on that. What I did is I took my full coverage whips and I cut them in half. I like spun a wheel and I just cut them down to like 20 to 24 full coverage pieces that I was going to focus on. But that was still kind of a lot. And I realized I was just getting burnt out on the full coverage. So what I've done now, and I just kind of did this week, is I've decided I started stitching on some non-full coverage. I went to Midsummer Stitches last weekend. You wouldn't have seen me. You wouldn't have seen me in any of the I popped into a couple of the stitching tables and lurked for a little bit, but not long. What happened was I had this massive migraine. I woke up with a massive migraine on the Saturday of it. So all I really did, I couldn't stitch most of that day. It bummed me out. So what I did is I watched the special feel. Like I watched the Flosstube live with the Sunshine Stitchers. I watched the Meet the Designer with Tiny Modernist and JetX and Lupine and the fabric people. I can't think of their name right now. So I watched all the special stuff, and later in the day, like my wife is in a show. That's why I'm able to do this out in the living room today. My wife has got her closing performance tonight. Sorry, the cat is starting to play with my patterns. So she's got her closing performance today, matinee show, so I can film out in the living room with all the light and everything. And don't mind the movement behind me. That's the TV screensaver, and it actually helps light the living room, where our lighting sucks in the living room. Anyway, so I popped in, tried to pop into the stitching tables a little bit, but with the migraine, I just wasn't feeling social. I wasn't feeling up to being social. So I just watched all the special stuff, and by evening I was able to stitch a little bit. So I pulled out my Barbariana Designs Witchy Dreams, which I will show in a little bit. And I started stitching on that, and stitching on the non-full coverage just hit. So what I decided to do the next day, I worked on Witchy Dreams all day the next day. And again, I still kind of reeling a little bit from the day before, so I still wasn't feeling super social. I was kind of nervous about it. I'm very, very introverted. And very, get a lot of social anxiety. So I was kind of nervous about popping into the stitching rooms too. And I lurked a little bit, but I mostly, again, just watched the special things. I watched, the Stitchman Darcy and, Modern Folk Embroidery, Flosstube Live. I focused more on watching things than socializing. But I still stitched all day, and I was still in the room, and obviously I didn't do any of the blind date things. Just wasn't feeling up to being social. I gotta make sure I'm free the weekend of Harvest Moon, the Harvest Moon one that goes on sale August 1st. With Lindy Stitches, and as long as I got to talk to my wife and make sure that she's cool with me doing that weekend, because that's getting close to my birthday too. I don't know what, like the week the week later is my birthday, the end September 29th. So, and that's 19th through the 21st. So I just don't know if my wife's planning on making any plans that, not even birthday related. I don't know why I brought up the birthday thing. Just because I guess because it's close, like she wouldn't be making any plans for my birthday that weekend, but I just want to make sure she's cool with me hiding in my office and doing a stitch retreat that weekend when right now she's got nothing going on. So like last weekend was cool because she had a show anyway. So she wasn't going to be home anyway. But anyway, so non-full coverage hit. So what I decided to do, and I kind of made this plan on Sunday, and I've only been doing this for a week, so I don't know if it's going to stick, but this week I've liked it so far, is I decided to do the temperature stitching that a lot of Flosstubers do. Cat just knocked down one of her toys off of the tower, and she's probably going to leave it, and then the dog's going to come in and steal it, and I'm going to have to get it back from the dog and put it back up on the tower. Anyway, life with pets, right? So what I did is I spun my wheel of full coverage, so not my one that's my pared down, not the one that's half, all 48 of my full coverage WIPs. I spun a wheel to get 10. And those are going to be my temperature stitch pieces, and I'm going to go through those. And I did put a little work into them this week. And what I'm going to do is a lot of people do when they get to 1,000 stitches, they're going to switch. They switch out the project for another piece. I'm not doing 1,000. I think I'm going to do either 1,500 or 2,000. I want to see significant progress on it. And I feel like 2,000, that's about half a page, half of a Haid page anyway. And a lot of my pieces are Haids. Although not a lot of them on my temperature stitching. Now I'm looking at my laptop and seeing not a lot of my are Haids on this round. But still, 2,000 stitches is a nice noticeable amount on a full coverage. So I think I'm going to switch out at 2,000, and I'm going to shoot for between 1 and 200 stitches on the day that I do it. And I'm going to use the projected temperatures that are on Sunday. And I'm not going to worry about if I don't get to it that day, then that one just gets skipped. I'm not going to worry about, oh, I'm behind on this one. I didn't get to this yesterday, so I still need to do the 1 to 200 stitches on this one before I can. No, if I miss it, I miss it. It'll get it stitching at some other point. I'm not going to stress out about that. And the dog wants in, so hold on just 1 second. Yeah, so if I get to the stitching that day, awesome. I think it's going to be easier for me to do it on the weekdays than it is on the weekends. I didn't get to my temperature stitching yesterday. Again, I had another migraine yesterday, and I didn't do any stitching at all yesterday. So, and I don't know that I don't think I'm going to get to today's either, because I didn't get what I wanted to get done on my non-full coverage focus piece done yesterday. So I kind of want to catch up. I'd rather catch up on that than worry about getting 100 to 200 stitches in on a full coverage temperature piece. So I don't think today's temperature stitching is going to get done either. So, but later tonight I will look at the projected temps, and I'll fill out a spreadsheet for the week and see what gets done next week. But I'm not that worried about it. It's going to be a way to get some work into my full coverage pieces while I'm focusing on non-full coverage. So that's my plans. Flosstube wise, I do want to start making more regular videos. I don't know if that's going to mean weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. I'm hoping at least bi-weekly, if not weekly. That way I can show my temperature stitching and the progress I've made on non-full coverage focus. And just, I want to be part of the community again. I want to feel like part of the community again. I want to, and that was part of why I went to Midsummer Stitches, but I didn't succeed in that because I wasn't feeling social. I I want to meet people again and make friends and have people to talk to. And hermiting myself in my house isn't doing me any good, and not being social in any aspect other than with my wife. Why are you poking me? One second, I think the dog might have the cat's toy. Nope, she doesn't. Okay. She's laying down, cooling off from being outside. The cat was just poking me for no reason. Okay. But yeah, I want to feel like part of the community again. I want to participate. I want to meet, just make friends again and feel more like part of something again. So I've been reading more again lately. So I want to incorporate books back into the channel. Like, I started a second channel last year to be focused on books, but I still wasn't reading. So it just didn't happen. Like, it's been over a year, and I've posted 2 videos on the channel like last summer, and that's it. But what I think I might do is I think I might start talking about books again at the end of a Flosstube video. Not every Flosstube video, but some Flosstube videos might have book talk at the end, kind of like what Crafty Gaming Jamie and Sheldon and Stitches do. Just at the end, talk about the books that they've been reading. So I think that's how I'm going to incorporate book back in. If I ever want to start talking about movies on the internet, that will be a separate channel. But I don't think so. I don't know. But I do want to start talking about books again, because I have been my reading is back. So I'm probably going to start talking about that at the end of some Flosstube videos. Probably if I go weekly with the Flosstube videos, it won't be every week that I talk about books. Maybe the end of the month video or something. We'll have what I've been reading this month at the end of it or something. But anyway, let's get it. It's been almost 20 minutes. Let's get into some stitching. So thank you if you've made it this far and got through my ramblings about what's been going on and what my plans are and stuff. The plans were kind of important to talk about before I started showing stitching. So I'm going to go with the temperature stitching first. I'm going to show you what the 10 pieces are. Only 5 of them got work this week, but I'm just going to show you where things stand with all 10 pieces. Because you haven't seen them, and one of them you've never seen since the end of last year. So first we've got the Muses. This one I'll kind of show the full piece. I'm not sure where I'm going to start working on it. Right now I have the Q-snap positioned in a certain spot, but so this is on a Q-snap right now, so I don't know how this is going to work, but I might have to scroll up. So this is where I'm at with the Muses. If I lean back, I can get the whole thing in. Okay. This is one that I did this big, weird, long diagonal stitch on, and then I started working in the center, and then I started working up at the corner, and then I started doing black. Then I went back to the diagonal. That's what you see there. So I actually don't know where I'm going to start working with this piece. Right now I have a position to continue that diagonal, but it hasn't come up yet. So once it comes up, I'll decide where I feel like working on that day. There it is. But that's the Muses, Heaven and Earth Designs. In fact, let me get my tablet out and show you what it's supposed to look like. Forget how to do this when you haven't done it in a while. The other thing is I'm probably not going to, in order to get videos out, I'm probably not going to end up showing you where I was the last time you saw it. I'm probably not going to insert those pictures in because that requires editing. I don't like editing, so that keeps me from making a video because I don't feel like doing the editing. I don't feel like taking the snapshots. I just want to do a video and get it out there. And so that is what the Muses looks like. It's Heaven and Earth Designs. It's on 28 count 1/1 full cross. I don't do half stitch. I don't like it. I've tried it a couple of times. I know full coverage would go quicker if I did half stitch. I just don't like it. So next is Rainy Waterloo Place. This is from, I forget the company of this one. Cross Stitch Collectibles. I don't even need to, let's unfold it a little bit. So this is where I'm at. This did get 139 stitches on Tuesday. So I put them in this area where I'm getting close to this page finish. So that is Rainy Waterloo Place. The next temperature piece stitch is Big Cats. That is on a Q-snap right now because that was Friday's piece. I don't even think I included this in my... I don't know if I included this in my full coverage WIP parade because I wasn't sure if it was going to continue to be a WIP. But then I decided to give it a try on the fabric and go back to it. Okay. So here's where it is. And I'm working on this page right here. So I put 95 stitches into this diagonal. I got close to 100 and really felt like moving on to my non-full coverage, so I did. The next temperature stitch piece is Scotty, Goddess of the North from Charting Creations. I'm not going to pull this full one out of the Q-snap. I'm just going to show you where I'm working on right now. This one's bigger, and I had a couple I'm not going to fully pull out, but those couple were small. So I'm working on. Oh, I should again. Let's do this the right way, shall we? So we went through Rainy Waterloo Place. That's what Rainy Waterloo Place will look like when it's done. And we just did Big Cats. Big Cats is a retired Tilton Crafts piece. So that's what that one will look like when it's done. And Scotty, Goddess of the North, will look like that when it's done. And the area I'm working on is over here, this top row, finishing this top row of stitches over here. This one is, I've worked on this one in so many different fashions. Okay, so next is the Outer Frontier. This has been a piece longer than I've been doing Flosstube. It's Chris Ortega, Heaven and Earth Designs. This is what it'll look like when it's done. I have a good corner of this done, her face. I've gotten down here. I've even found the bottom of the piece just to make sure I had the fabric. Where I'm going to show you is the area I'm working on, which is right here, and working in these diagonals right here. I'm working on this one right now. So, and this one Scotty got 135 stitches this week. Outer Frontier has not gotten any work. This was supposed to be yesterday's piece that I didn't get to. Next is Simply Meant to Be, which, if you saw my year-end WIP parade, you'll know that I was considering UFOing this piece. I almost said DNFing, which is the book term for not finishing. I considered UFOing this piece, but I've since decided against it. So this is what it'll look like when it's done. It's a Nightmare Before Christmas piece. And this is where I'm at with it. I've found both corners. I've worked in both corners. I'm not sure where I will work on it when it comes up, but I'll figure that out when it comes up. It hasn't come up yet. The next one is Baldu Mask. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm missing the artist on a lot of these. I apologize for that. This artist is Babette Vandenberg. And this is a story keep, and this is what it'll look like when it's done. And this is where I'm at with it. I started working on one color, and that's why you get down to the mirror in the top of her head there, because I was just kind of color completing for a little bit. This one has not come up yet either. Next is Stolen Harvest. This is artwork by I used to know the art, Annie Stegg, and this is what it'll look like. And I'm not in anything interesting. There's a lot of black. This is where I'm at with it. This is where I'm working at, and it got 153 stitches this week. Next is Blackberry Dragon. This is from Pain Free Crafts. The artist is Stanley Morrison. This is what it'll look like when it's finished. And this one I will show a bit more of. This one got 156 stitches this week. This one is one it started in the middle, then started color completing black, and then earlier, a couple months ago, I decided to go up and find the top corner and start working in there. So I've got lots of places I can work on this one right now, which is exciting. But where I was working on for my stitching this week was, sorry, I'm just getting it locked back in, is I was working in this diagonal right here. So I put, 156 stitches in right there into the background. And then one more is Winter City. This has been a new start since my WIP parade. This is from Stitches So Beautiful. Artwork is by Carla Gerard. And this is what it'll look like when it's done. And I started in the bottom corner. So this is where I'm at with it. And this is today's if I decide to put some stitches into it. But I don't think I'm going to. So this is where I'm at with this one. It is fun to work on. I do enjoy working on it. So I was happy to see it. Even though it's more of a winter piece, I was happy to see it in the come up on the wheel. So that is the full coverage pieces I'm focusing on right now. Just those 10. And they will get worked on when their last number of temperature comes up on a day, if I get to it that day. So I'm going to take a little pause real quick. My leg's falling asleep. I need to wake it up. And then I will be back with my non-full coverage WIP parade. Okay, I'm back. Should have took that sip of tea before I hit unpause, but oh well. Dog's outside, so I'm going to have to pause and let her in at some point. So, let's start the non-full coverage WIP parade with a non-full coverage finish. I actually finished something. I haven't finished anything since last year, where I finished the Audrey piece, which I showed in my WIP parade. And this is the first non-full coverage piece I've finished in several years. I might need to... Let's take a piece of white fabric and get it behind there. This is Witchy Dreams from Barbara Ann Designs. full finish. Well, it's not fully finished because it's not in a frame, but it's probably as finished as going to be for me for a long time. It's not ironed yet or anything, but this is it. I'm so excited. I loved working on this piece, and I want to get more Barbariana Designs pieces because this was just a joy to work on. I really enjoyed it. So last weekend, I finished this on Tuesday night, I think. When I started it, I did not have any of these berries or anything in, but I had a little bit of the leaves in 3371 here. So I finished all of this, the berries, and then, oh no, I'm sorry, other side. This side, I had a few leaves done. So I finished this, and I finished everything on this side up to, I had done up to like her neckline. So I finished the rest of this, the key, the bone, and the pear and everything, and then also the whole bottom half of it from like Sunday to Tuesday or Wednesday. It might have been Wednesday. But yeah, loved working on this piece and want more Barbariana Designs pieces. So that's the finish. The piece I'm focusing the most on right now, and why I won't probably get the temperature stitching done today, because I didn't get where I wanted to on it yesterday, so I can't get where I wanted to be on it by the end of today, especially now since I'm taking time to film a video. So this is the Year in the Woods, the bear. This is the Year in the Woods number 6. I have all 12. And I just found out from, I forget whose video it was, but I just found out a couple weeks ago that Cottage Garden Samplings is doing a Year in the Woods 2, and they've already released 2 patterns, and the third one is on its way out. Will be out next month. They've released a wolf and a I forget what they're called. Anyway, they have 2 patterns out now. And the third one is coming in August. It's already, you can already see it on 123 Stitch. So where I'm at with the bear is I've gotten really good progress on the bear. I love working on this piece. So I got what I wanted to do yesterday is I've got a little bit of stalk left to do up to here. I'm working down to here before I move the Q snap and do the bottom bit. So I've got just a little bit of stalk. No, sorry, the stalk's all done. I have a little thing to do out from here. So I've got a little curly Q thing to do out from here, and then that is done, and then I can just work on the bear. So where I wanted to be yesterday is I wanted to have that done. That's only going to take like 20 minutes, half hour. I wanted to get kind of down to this point on the bear so I could start filling in this paw today. And hopefully by Tuesday be done, almost done, and ready to move the Q snap up to do the bottom part. It's not going to happen now because I just couldn't stitch it all yesterday. My head just hurt too bad. I couldn't focus on it. And this is 40 count. I should have said Witchy Dreams. I don't remember what the fabric is on Witchy Dreams, but it's 32 count, 2/2. All called for DMCs. And this is not the called for fabric. Do I have... no, I don't have... let me get my thing of the bear. My project. I have all of the 3 that go together in here. Do I have a sticker with what the fabric is on one of these? I might on the bar now. No. Oh, yes I do. Yes I do. So the fabric is 40 count Valor Newcastle. And it's 1/1. Or sorry, it's 1/2 full cross. So that's the bear. And since I had to get that package out, I will show the other two. I don't have a start on the Barn Owl, but I do have the Barn Owl here, and with its specialty floss. I'm doing all the called for flosses. I'm not a floss substituter. I'm not good with color, so I'm almost always going to do the called for flosses. I'll get the, and if I can't get the special, I'll only substitute the DMC color if I just can't get the specialty floss. It's just out of stock and I can't get my hands on it and I can't get it anywhere and I just really want to keep moving on the piece, then I'll substitute the DMC. But I'm going to always try like hell to get all the specialty flosses for something too. So that's the Barn Owl. That is just a piece. I have the piece of fabric here. It's not started yet. But I did start on the Bald Eagle last summer, I think. And it's part of when I really started seeing I was having a lot of trouble doing my higher count fabrics. So I was small start on the Bald Eagle there. So that's those. Next in line, we've got Moonlight Sampler, and this is from the Blue Flower. You may have seen this on other people's floss tubes before, so I'm getting a glare from my ring light. So that is the blue Moonlight Sampler from the Blue Flower. I don't know what this fabric is. I used to have two LNSs that I could go to. One, the closest one to me closed years ago. And a couple years ago, the next closest one to me closed. It was about a 45-minute drive, but my wife and I went out there occasionally for dinner. So when we did, I was able to pop in and buy a piece of fabric or a couple pieces of fabric from them. But they have since closed too. So this is where I'm at with Moonlight Sampler. But this is 40 count, 1/2. And all the called for flosses, and I had the specialty flosses with me, and the owner of the LNS pulled the DMCs, and we floss dropped on a couple of pieces of fabric, and she helped me pick this color fabric. I don't know what it is. I don't know that she ever told me what it was, what the colorway was. So I don't know. Do you have a card in here from? Oh, wait. I have the card. Tin Roof. It's the colorway Tin Roof. I don't know who it's from, though. So that's Moonlight Sampler. Next is Yellow Submarine. This is from Blackbird Designs. This is part of their Beatles series. What the series is called, the Magical Mystery Tour series. I have a couple of these patterns. This is the only one I have started. And I did put a little bit of work into this. I'm not very far on this. I did put a little bit. I thought this was going to be what I focused on next after Witchy Dreams, but I really decided I was a fair way into the bear. So I decided I wanted to focus on that one next. So I only have a little bit of the top border stitched. This is on 32 count Cobblestone Lugana from Zweigart. So it's 2/2 on 32 count. And all the called for flosses. I'm going to do that at the end. This is the Witch's Familiar Sal. This is from Ingleside Imaginarium on Etsy. I don't have a picture of what it looks like when it's done, but this is where I'm at with it. This is on 32 count murky Lugana from Picture This Plus, 2/2, called 4 flosses. This was a sale several years ago. I know Kim Hollenbeck worked on it too. She finished it. So somewhere in the annals of her Flosstube, you can find a finish of that one. I will be right back. The dog wants in. Okay, the dog is in. She is just laying there on the couch. Say hi, Gypsy. That is where she hangs out when my wife is gone, because she is not happy unless we are both home. So when either one of us is gone, she mopes there across the arm of the couch. Sorry, my leg is falling asleep again. Trying to get some blood flow back into that leg. So that was... I don't remember which is familiar, Sal. This, I have put a little bit of work into, and I do kind of want to still continue to put some work into this one while I'm focusing on the bear, because this is part of the, this is Santa's house in the Fabulous Houses series. And I want to do all of the Fabulous Houses on one piece of fabric. And I talked about this a couple years ago. And somebody, a viewer, I apologize, I can't remember the person's name, was even kind enough to send me one of the flosses I was missing. And so I've got the castle, which is number 2. Number 3 is the greenhouse, and I didn't care for that one. So originally I was like, okay, maybe what am I going to do? Because I don't care for the greenhouse, but that's going to mess things up. And then I couldn't work on it. This was the one where I really found out I couldn't do the high count fabric side, because it's not even, the white's not even showing up because my ring light is blinding. There you go. If I get close enough, you can see the white. But my ring light really washes it out. So, and I didn't even have the magnifier at the time. So this was the one where I really saw, especially with the white on this lighter fabric, I couldn't do the higher counts anymore. And that's what really started me just putting away all my non-full coverage. But anyway, I did get the castle bought. And then when I saw the greenhouse come out, I was like, well, I don't like the greenhouse. What am I going to do now? Do I just start buying smaller pieces of fabric and only doing the houses that I like? But then I liked every other house that came out. And then at the end, they came out with the special edition Tudor style house that you could pop on as a 13th house, or you could replace any of the houses that you didn't like with it. So I'm doing this in the 3rd spot in place of the greenhouse, because I like this one. So then I'll have 12 houses all that I like on it. So you kind of already saw this is where I'm at with Santa's house. I can't do the castle until I get over there and be able to space it out. And I'm far from that. I think I'm going to have, what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do is do this bit up to a point, because I don't think the whole thing is going to fit in my Q-snap here, because I only use an 8x8 Q-snap. So I think I'm going to have to move the Q-snap at some point. So I think what I want to do is fill in as much of this as I can, and then move to the different areas I need to finish it off. But I pulled this out because, and put a little work into it. What I did is I put this into the red into this snowflake here, and then I started this roof line, and I put a few missing stitches into this chimney, because I had watched Andrew the Running Stitcher, and he just finished this. He finished Santa's house, and Stuart and Stitches has been working on it. It's one of his temperature pieces. So I really wanted to start working on it again. Like, I intended to work on it this month anyway as a Christmas in July kind of thing. And I just didn't really start stitching till about a week ago. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just focus on the bear. And then I saw Andrew's video and Stuart's video. I'm like, no, I want to pull it back. I want to pull it out. I want to put some work into it. So I did. So thank you, Andrew and Stuart. I know I've talked to Andrew a little bit. I've never really talked to Stuart, but thank you both for inspiring me to pull this out. Next is the Witchy Stitchers Universal Monster Cell. And I will pop this out of the Q-Snap a bit just to see where I'm at, because you haven't seen it in 4 years, 5 years maybe, who knows. I don't even remember what year this cell was. It was the first Witchy Stitcher cell. And since she has done the Cryptids, the Chopping Mall, she did the Chopping Mall after this, then came Cryptids, then came Supernatural, and I don't even know from there. So this is where I'm at with it. I have gotten 3 of the rooms done, and where I'm focusing on right now is the top of the house. I want to get the top of the frame of the house done before I move on to this next room, and then I'll probably stitch the middle rooms, and then maybe I'll carry down that. I don't know if I'm going to do the bottom staircase first and then the 3 rooms, or how I'm going to handle it, if I'm just going to finish off the frame and then do the 3 rooms. I'm not sure, but my focus right now is the top. And I'm kind of pulling this out right now because there's so much black. When I need something where I can just want to mindlessly do some black for a little bit. So that's kind of when I'm pulling this out. So I did a little bit in this. That was horrible. So I did a little bit in this this week. I put some black into it this week. Partially because I also thought I might focus on it instead of the bear. So I thought it'd be nice to focus on my oldest non-full coverage, which this is. But it'll get done when it gets done. I kind of want to focus on some smaller ones and maybe get a few more finishes this year. Like, I hope to finish the bear within the next couple of weeks. So that's the Universal Monster Cell. Let me show this one first. So, a couple years ago when Lola Crow did the Greenhouse of Oddities cell, I bought it and started working on it. I want to say... Yeah, this is... I don't remember the colorway on this. I don't have the sticker anywhere. But this is a 32 count. So it's 2/2. Let me... Where's mine? Get something behind it. So this is where I'm at with the Greenhouse of Oddities cell. Not very far. Again, it was around the time that I was discovering I couldn't work on the higher count fabrics anymore. Even my 28 count full coverage projects I couldn't do. So I was focusing 25 count because I could still kind of see that. And it was rough. But I missed the Deadly Aquarium, and I am going, because I couldn't stitch. I knew I couldn't stitch on it, so I didn't buy the Deadly Aquarium. I am going to go back and buy that because I do like that one. I love Sea Life. So I do want to do that one. But instead I bought the Extraordinary Bird cell, which I'm way behind on. And that's fine. I just want to do it. So this is where I'm at with that. I did buy it before the first part came out, so I bought it while the frame was out. And I did, when I bought it, I did figure out that I could have finished the frame before the first part came out, but I didn't really focus. This is on 32 count. This I do have the sticker for. Blue Whisper Belfast Linen, 2/2. And I could have finished the frame before the first part came out. I didn't. I still was kind of in a stitchy slump. Where'd my... There it is. So, I'm just going to stitch on it as I feel like it. It's not going to be a focus for a while. But it is... the little crow pieces are nice to stitch on. I do enjoy stitching on them. So, back to the witchy stitcher. And the aforementioned cryptid Sal. This is on a 32 count. I don't know the colorway anymore. It's similar to the Extraordinary Birds colorway, but it's not exactly it. But this is where I'm at with the cryptid Sal. I did put a little bit of work into Enfield Horror earlier this year. Shortly after I got my glasses. So I have found the bottom there. This might, at some point, this might get a cryptid a month work done on it. I don't know. I might start that next month. I might not. We'll see. We'll see how things. When I finish the bear, I'm going to start deciding on kind of a focus order. But I'm probably going to focus on these Year in the Woods ones for a little while. With some other possible focus. I don't know why I put that there. I put it back in the bag, Sean. So here's some more Year in the Woods. And these are on a 40 count J Newcastle linen from Picture This Plus. So I have the reindeer, the fox, which just has the smallest start in the world on it, and the swans, which is not started yet. So here's my blank piece of fabric for the swans. Nope, sorry, this is my blank piece of fabric for the swans because it's still got the sticker on it. This is my smallest start in the world start on the fox. I don't even know if you can see that. I still even have the floss hanging down. I had started to put some stitches on it. Couldn't see, so I stopped. And then the reindeer, I have put some work into because I was working on this after I got my magnifying light this winter. So I have put some work into the reindeer. The reindeer I will probably hold off on until wintertime this year. I might focus on that in December and get that done in December. So when I think I'm going to focus on the 3 summer ones next, and then I'll put some focus into the 2 other winter ones. But I also have fabric in my cart for the fall ones in my 1, 2, 3 stitches cart that I need to pull the trigger on at some point. So, because like I said, I have all 12 of the patterns. This is the Fox and Rabbit 2021 Sal. I don't remember the colorway on this, but I'm stitching it with, I want to say, oh no, I think it's 3379 that I'm stitching this with. Sorry, 3779 I'm stitching this with, but that's where I'm at with it. Not very far. I pull this one out occasionally. It's not, again, it's not a focused one. It's just one every once in a while when I feel like working a little bit on a sampler, I'll pull that one out. This is a new start this year. This was what was the Autumn Lane Stitchery's Winter Sal this year, which is Woodland Winter. Really was enjoying stitching on this. I don't have the colorway of this fabric. I didn't keep the sticker, but it is a dark blue fabric of some sort. They recommended a darker fabric, but I've got the house done in a little bit of a tree. I don't have what this one will look like when it's done. But that's as far as I've gotten on it. Obviously, the sal is complete. The whole thing is out. But I was loving working on this. It was such a joy to work on this winter, and I really loved putting that house together. And I'll probably get back to that this winter. I don't know. I might get back to it sooner. I might want to get this one finished up, because I'm sure they'll do a winter style again this year, and I might want to participate in that again. So I don't know if I'm going to want to have two going. So we'll see what happens with that. I put things so far away. Next is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. That is the whole thing. I am on this square. So I don't know. I've probably, since you last saw this, finished this square. And I've put some work into the tree on this square. Now this one, I think I do want to start putting some focus into. This is a huge piece. And I think what I want to start doing is starting in August. So starting like a week and a half from now, or a little under a week from now, I want to start doing one square every month or two, depending on its coverage. So like this one, middle one will obviously be probably 2 months. This one is more full coverage. So that one I'll probably do 2 months on. This one I'll probably do 2 months on. And this one I'll probably do 2 months on. I've kind of worked it that way to space it out to be done with it by Halloween next year. This one might take a little bit longer than a month. We'll see. It all depends on what I'm focusing on at the time, too. But that I do want to try and get finished by next Halloween. So that is it for the ones I'm actively working on that have starts. I do have others. That's a lie. There's a couple others that have starts, but I'm not sure on their status with me yet. There's also another one that I did start, but didn't like how it looked on the fabric I bought, so I bought fabric for a restart on it. And I don't know if I pulled... Yeah, I did. Okay. So, I've got the Halloween Quaker from Lilo Studio. I had started it on this fabric, which is... I forget. I apologize. I forget the colorway on this. I bought it. It was years ago that I bought it. But I had started it on this fabric. And I had started up in these dark colors here. And I didn't like how it was looking on this dark fabric. And Stitching Moon had started it on a lighter color fabric, and she has since finished it. Megan over at Stitching Moon, who started it enabled by me when she saw it on my channel. And she has since long finished it a couple of years ago. And I liked it on the lighter fabric she started it on more than I liked it on my dark fabric. So I just have, here it is. So I bought a lighter. Oh, I do have a start on it. Look at that. Small little start. I did start it. Okay, so I guess this is an active WIP. I did start it. I did restart it. I told Andrew at Running Stitcher in a comment a few days ago that I hadn't restarted it yet. But Andrew, if you see this, yes, I did. So yeah, then this fabric is a feldspar, 40 count feldspar from Picture This Plus. And I already, even seeing this little start I did, I like it much, much better. So what I'm going to do with this fabric is I bought a modern folk embroidery piece last night that I'm going to put on this fabric. I just threw a color in there, just a DMC number in there just to get the mock up. But this is Here Be Dragons from Modern Folk Embroidery. So I'm going to do this one on... This is my Extraordinary Birds. So I had accidentally bought extra of Bright Leaf from Weeks Dye Works. What had happened was I bought the wrong amount of this one versus another one. I needed more of another color, and I hit the plus on the wrong one. So I already had more of this than I needed. So what I did is I just bought a little bit more of it. And what I was going to do was the 2024, Fox and Rabbit Sal that year. I was going to do that on this with this floss. So, but then I didn't end up a few months. I let a few months of the Fox and Rabbit cell build up, and I wasn't loving it. Just nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't suiting my taste. So I decided against doing that, and then I decided this year, I'll get a modern folk embroidery. A monochrome modern folk embroidery piece, and I'll do that. That will fit this fabric, and do that on this. So Here Be Dragons I just bought the chart yesterday. So Here Be Dragons is what I'm going to do on this fabric with this Bright Leaf Weeks Dye Works floss that I had bought more of so that I could do the Fox and Rabbit Sal. So that's going to be a new start really soon. Hang on, dog wants out. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn my Witchy Dreams project bag into the project bag for that. Another one. Dog wanted out and I lost everything. Another one that I have a start on. Started on it years ago. Not sure if I want to continue it on a higher count fabric but over 2 instead of, because what I have it on right now is a 28 count 1/1. But then I noticed that there's parts where there's like a little back stitch in places that I don't know if it's gonna read 28 count 1/1. But it's Death by Cross Stitch, Long Dog Samplers. And this is my start on it. And it doesn't look bad. But at the time, and this is probably pre-pandemic. At the time, I was feeling like it was too small. The stitches were too small and things weren't going to show up. But I might go back to it and get a little further in on it and see how I feel about it. But this is on a 32 count Storm Lugana, 28 count Storm Lugana 1/1 with DMC 550. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think I should keep going with this on 28 count, maybe people who do long dog a bit more can tell me if I'm going to be all right continuing this on 28 count, or if I should go to a higher count fabric over 2 so it ends up more like a 16 or 20 count. If I did 32 or 40 count fabric. So I guess that's my question for you guys on that. Because I do love that, and I do want to go back to it. My other WIP that is a WIP. I have started it, but I'm still very intimidated by it. Is I have a Mirabilia, the Raven Queen. I love the way this looks. I'm still very intimidated by it though, so I haven't done a whole lot on it. This is again on 32 count Storm Lugana 2/2. This is my start on it. But I am still just very intimidated by it. I got to look at a couple of spots with my magnifier light because there is one of the colors that is done in half stitch. Karen Lily Water Lily's 162 is a half stitch. And I got to look at my magnifier because I think I might have done the half stitch the way I do my first leg instead of my second leg. So I might want to fix that if I do continue on with this. I would like to get back to it. I think what intimidates me about it is the beading. I'm not sure how to go about the beading, and honestly, I have looked a little bit for videos on beading, but I haven't really found anything that's been helpful to me. So I think part of my brain has just not been sure about how to go about the beading when that happens, especially how to go about it because I use a Q-snap, so I can't like crush beads in the Q-snap as I go, and I'm not very good at doing in hand. So there's been a lot of intimidation factors with this, but I do like it, and I do want to get further on and really try a Mirabilia because there's lots of Mirabilias and Bella Filipinas and, fancy ladies that I like and would like to stitch. And would like to get to the beading and see if I even enjoy doing the beading. So hopefully I will tackle that a little bit this year. We'll see. I'd like to. And the only other thing I have that's not really a WIP, but I do have the fabric for it and I have it in a project bag, is Cottage Garden Samplings, part of their Snowman Collector series, and it's the Pirate. I really like that. Like, I didn't like all of their Snowman series, so I decided I was just going to get the few I liked. And it's going to be on a 40 count Vintage Country Mocha, Newcastle linen. It's going to be 1/1. I've gotten the one specialty floss I needed for it, so it's ready to go. I just need to start it. But I think I want to get... Like, I have it in a project bag. I made a project bag for it because I was all ready to start it. But I feel like I want to get one or two of the Year in the Woods ones done before I start that. Hang on a second. I'm going to let the dog in, and then I'm going to start signing off. So, yeah, that is where I'm at with things currently. And finally showing you some non-full coverage. It's been several years since I've done that, and that is where it's kind of where my focus is right now. That's kind of what I'm enjoying. That's what I'm enjoying stitching on more right now. And it just may be that my tastes have changed, and I still like the full coverage pieces, but I feel like right now I'm enjoying working more on the non-full coverage. I did buy. I'm not in a position to be able to show you the charts I bought at well, maybe I am. Let me see if I've thrown them in my Google Drive yet. I know I have a Lindy Stitches folder on my Google Drive. Don't I? Maybe I don't. No, I don't. Okay. Yeah, I'm not in a position to be able to show you the charts I bought at Midsummer Stitches. I bought a few of the exclusive charts. The two exclusive charts from, if you were at Midsummer Stitches, then you know. I bought the two exclusive charts from Lindy Stitches. The one with the design from Midsummer Stitches, and then the wolves. And I bought the Sprouting Lupine design, the Tiny Modernist design, and then I bought one other Tiny Modernist design that was not a Midsummer Stitches exclusive. I wasn't able to get any of the exclusive fabrics. Those went very fast, and I was asleep with my headache, and the shopping opened at 12. I woke up from one of my headache naps on the couch at around 1, so I popped into the shopping, and all the fabric was all the exclusive fabric was already gone. So I wasn't able to get. Lindy said she is getting more of that in, so I might try once the email comes in that she's got more of it in. So I might try to get some of that, because I don't have a fabric stash at all. I was able to get one piece of fabric. It's in the other room. I'll show it at another time. But it wasn't one of the exclusive fabrics. It was just there just happened to be a 40 count fabric still in stock. So when I was putting my shopping cart together, but it wasn't one of the exclusives. It was it was a 40 count that happened to be in stock. So I grabbed it. Because I want to start building up a fabric stash so that I have things to choose from. But right now I just buy as I need it, and I'm not good with colors, and I would like to just start building up a fabric stash. Because I have DMC wise, I have a master set of DMC, so I just work out of that, and can just buy any fancy flosses I need to when I need to. Or substitute the DMC if I want to start something. But I would like to eventually build up a fabric stash so that I can say, oh, I got this chart. I have room to start something. Let me look at what I've got and start something, rather than having to go through and purchase and wait for it to come. And so, yeah, I do want to start building up a fabric stash. So I'm going to start buying some fabric here and there, whether I need it for a project or not, just because I like the colorway or something. But that's where I'm at with things. I'm doing a lousy job at signing off right now. So hopefully you made it through to the end of this. If you did, thank you. I hope to be doing this a little bit more often, and hope to get to talk to some of you in the comments. My email, my Instagram will be below. My email is booksfilmfloss@gmail.com, and my Instagram is Sean P. Stitches. I don't post a lot on I suck at social media. So I don't post a lot on my Instagram, but I can still be contacted through there. I'll still get the notification that I have a message, and I will look at the message and I'll answer. And I'd probably be better at that than answering an email. I kind of suck at email too, but those are the ways that I can be contacted. So you can comment in the comments below, or feel free to reach out to me at one of those two places. I do want to start getting back involved with the community and start talking to people more and start making some friends. And I watch Flosstubers, and they talk about, I'm doing this with this person and this with this person, and I don't have that. Partially because I don't make videos very often, so I'm not there. I'm not in the community right now. So I want to get back involved. I want to get back into the realm of things, and start making connections again. So please, feel free to comment or reach out, and I will see you in the next Flosstube.